Well, this is our Enlightenment videos. And this one is going to be a little bit different. We have a lot of sponsors and a lot more are asking us, and we're not going to show them in here that we're sponsored by a lot more, but we're just showing some that are here and some big ones. We're we're going to represent our sponsors first, and then we'll start our talk. This is regarding sexual crimes of the American government mafia over American citizens and over world citizens, over everyone. Other except them, and that them is not all circulars. It's only the top families that are the top ones. So the most of the circulars, even the ones that are committing doing the sexual crimes over the world and over the US, are not knowledgeable about the extent of it, because it's under layers that they don't see, and even themselves in their personal life are they don't know that their sex activities is not natural even on them. So most of them think that they know, but they don't know, including the ones doing the sexual crimes on us and on others. So they're gonna get enlightened as well with our video. The ones doing the crimes on us are gonna get enlightened on what on things that they don't know. They have been beyond what they know there, because it's already done for them, so they don't know the extent of the unnatural and of the crimes, sexual crimes on the world and on the US. I'm going to list some of our sponsors, and we have a lot more, and that is always the case. We have a lot more companies sponsoring us and more countries sponsoring us than we list in our writing on our videos. And sometimes because they cut off the names when we are in our miracle communication, that's limited to the circle, and so sometimes we don't know. We get help from some and we don't know their names, and some are just we just don't get to represent everyone. But it is huge. Our support is huge in the US by company owners and others, and huge in worldwide. Our support worldwide is bigger even than the US. We're talking in government and in companies. They're stronger fighters, many of them, and they are able to be stronger fighters because they're not held as the companies in the US are kind of held by the government manipulation of the companies, which it's not the way that you think, and it's not the way we thought. The mafia government has been very good on either enslaving companies or workers to do some things that could be considered crimes. So enslaving them, which in general the enslaver is the criminal, and so they get things on them, and when they are strong on wanting to fight, they hold them with some of that. And sometimes it's the tax. They hold them with that, we could tax you, or breaks, or even do you get clients to walk into your store or to buy your products. Because of the enslavement with the laser and the manipulation, they can make a store have a lot of shoppers, or not have a lot. So the store, as an example, or not have a lot of shoppers come in, because they are manipulating where we go and what we do. So that is what holds. It's not that that they don't want to fight, but they're more held by the government that they are under than other worldwide. But also, the American culture is different. Ghana had built more of that mafia mentality, even when you're not in it, than the strong European countries and some other countries, and to the surprise of many, China is one of the big fighters for the natural, from the removal of the lasers. It's a huge fighter with Europe, with us, and Russia. So them in the area, they're very, very strong fighters against this that we have brought out. So we're gonna start with just some companies that represent them and represent their countries. We'll start with here, Swarovski. That is Swarovski represents Australia as well as Russia, and so we'll start with that. And we got our Swarovski in China. That's where we bought this one. Because we were, I guess it's part of we were blocked from walking to a Swarovski, to shopping from a Swarovski in here. But in China, we were able to go in. To walk into a Swarovski. Because Swarovski had us on a list, and if we shopped from them, we would have flagged in Russia. So with Swarovski, we'll say China is one of the big sponsors of us. Is one of the strong sponsors of us and of protector of us. A big fighter for natural bodies, and for us as Buddha, the religion, heaven, for the Chinese people, and for the world. And we're talking about their government. Their circulars definitely are strong in there, but they can't do much. It's the governments that have to do the job, because the circulars are still, even when they are helping us, they can't do. They are working under the U.S. government, so they can't go above their big bosses at the end when they get an order without choice. But they have allowed us communication. I know we're talking about all of them here, that with the Chinese people or French people or German people. Or Spanish, many. One of our big sponsors, Kleenex. G Life that we advertise. People love our commercial in there on YouTube for it. And it's China. We are China strong. The royal family in England, which has suffered the mafia in a big way with the cancers that they put on them. They have been a support for us, a big support for us, along with the English, the rest of the English government. They have our land. And with their military circle in there that has tried many ways tried to make many deals with the mafia and the US to free us, but couldn't. Definitely the French is a strong one for us. We are we are we have a French citizenship here when we were young, an adoption by a French CI daddy. Papers with the different names that got held from us, as even our birth papers are held from us. So we have in here our ring, which is Emirates, and our bracelets were sponsored by Emirates and Roxanne Solini. And we're trying to think of the name of the big store that we love, the architectural beauty there in Paris that we have in there, but right now it's taken from us. We'll write it if we don't remember it. Histoire d'Or, also a French store. Lafarge is a big sponsor for us. Our daddy's family creation. Bioderma, our face cleaning, beautiful fashion. L'Occitane eye cream and face cream. This is all under France here that we're listing now. Flaxia, our sunscreen. Tahine, the caramel à l'ancienne, which we love, and we always get it when we're traveling, and we order it in here also. We're hired there in a big marketing campaign to expand it worldwide, and it's deserving of the expansion. It is not just a campaign for us, it's personal for us. We love Vahine. But we advertise, this is a strong love. We advertise things that we believe in as a thing. We don't advertise something that we don't believe in, at least all the stuff that we have done. Amora, and we love Amora. We love the strong taste that it has. We love the strength of it. It is also something that we look for as we travel abroad and that we order, try to get in here, and we have been working marketing campaign to expand it worldwide as well, because we're strong believer of these. I'm gonna go back to the English. We have our Wedgwood plates, which I had here for many years. We bought them from Dallas and still had them. So they're beautiful. And the company has been sponsoring us here for a while and is sponsoring this video. Our beautiful Spain, Madrid, and Spanish. We're very, very, very popular and strong in Spain, in the military circles, the big one and others, and as they have been watching us in our childhood, not to be changed, replaced, and have protected us in some big crimes on us that were happening. And we built even stronger relations there when we were there with the Museum of Art, Modern Art. When we were in there, many museums, many businesses. So, but we always loved Spain. We always loved the Spanish ways, because we love that they understand that you work, but work is not everything. That you work and then you relax, and they enforce that. And that is something that we saw, in our childhood, and we saw later. It's an excellent thing to remember that it's not, you need the off time, you need the relaxed time. You need that for your life, but you need that also to earn your heaven, because that gives you time to, reflect and do the right thing. You're not just always, and to be a little bit, to more loving, all of that. So it's an important thing that the Spanish people have held on to more than other countries. The Spanish kingdom has ensured that that they kept that focus, and that is a great thing that they have done. Big sponsoring by Apple. We have like almost all Apple products, and many of them doubled. And we listed our products in our commercial advertisement for Apple, but that was just for us. But we bought Apple for our kids, we bought Apple for others in our lives. So we're a big for many years, and an Apple loving customer. Our gloves that we use for everything. prepping, plants, everything. But with that sponsoring of the Kirkland signature is Costco. So we have a big, when we do that, there is, you know, it's more than just the gloves, but it's Costco as a whole, as a company sponsoring. Mikasa wanted to make sure that they are sponsoring us in this one. The subject is important to them, and the enlightenment is important to them, and they have been supporting us here for a while. So Mikasa, a cordless lamp that we charge, that we love, and we have used them. You know, we could just move it wherever we want. You just charge it. It's rechargeable, and then it's easy when you're doing pictures or you're doing or videos or whatever to just go and you have light, and you have 3 different settings. Beautiful. This is representing China. We love these. We got them in Dallas, and so it's more than clips for us. It's a love for us. It's a connection that we had for many years here with China, watching out for us before, when we didn't know who we were. And protecting us from too much suffering in the past when they were able to, and now, sponsoring here for our ovals, Up and Up by Target. Our Bounty, sponsored by our Bounty paper towels, which you use for everything. Our here beautiful jewelry that we have many different colors. Complat in Germany, so it's sponsored by Complat and by Germany. They're representing Germany as well. We don't have a Coca-Cola in here, but Coca-Cola is one of our big supporters. That wanted to sponsor this as well as Levi's jeans. Levi's. Sponsored by Finland. Sweden and Norway. It's our mother's blood. Sponsored by Arrowhead Water, Mountain Water, and Canada behind it. And Canada is one of our huge supporters as well. And go back to France, La Rochelle, our glasses, very strong and a big sponsor and a supporter in many ways. They have worked very hard to help us, along with pylons, our glass covers and cup covers. St. Jude is a huge supporter for us. And that they need us for the kids that are suffering cancers on them. There are lasers for cancers. but they're supporting us, but also we support each other. We have a team in there between us and St. Jude. We need each other. So the kids need us, and we need them. They're making us a little hot, so just we try not to have the fan on with the sound of it, but if we need to, or have the other fan here, or rather have our voice clearer than have something else interfering. But if we have to, then we'll do it. So we're talking about the sex here, how it has been. We have built for like 3 generations or more on the families. I guess first we need to explain how this stuff works, why you have the sex crimes, you have skin crimes, you have hair crimes, you have uterus crimes, you have ovaries, so you have different things that in there. Those are families. Each one of them is a family in the mafia. So the sex crimes, that's a family that has the sex crimes, this sexual thing that has been hidden even from the circlers doing it. It's only at the top that knows it. So when we stayed held by all these things on us, and we got more lasers on us, more torture, more kills on us, because those families are holding on. So the family that has our eyes, and they're holding on in a strong way, torturing us with our eyes. The one for the sexual stuff, that's the same thing. For the one for like the urgencies and the pain, you have a family that's doing that. So there are mafia families for different parts of the bodies, along with mafia families for financial circling, for no job finding or no company getting money. You have different families, so it's a huge, because it's 3 generations minimum. Depends on if you have some of them have more, depending when they had their kids and whatever. They have built that for, we lost our thought here. So they have, got strong and built that and hidden stuff a while, and many the first ones already died, so you have others that took over and did even more, and they grew up in the way where that's what they want to do. It's more control, more power over the human body, more power over enslaving people in a hidden enslaving. It's the worst enslaving ever. When you see when you have crimes, when you see the crime, it's easier, it's better when you see the crime, because you can work on that crime, or removing the crime. But when the crime is hidden, and hidden so well, and entrenched, and has been going on for a while, and it's in the government, and it's everywhere, and it's over your brains, then that's a crime that is hard to fight, because people feel that they could wait, or they don't want to believe. Some don't want to believe. Some think that they could wait. Some think, well, if you are strong, if you are Jesus, if you are the Goddess Supreme, if you are the prophet, then you should be able to do it. That's not the way it works. You have to do the work for us to do the work. That's the way of the goddesses and gods. This is our way, the Goddess Supreme way. You have to help us for us to help you. You don't come in the way that some of the videos, I guess we saw, some joking, some not joking, that just coming in the way of just a miracle and just lifting you up. That wouldn't have earned many heavens for you. It wouldn't have been the way. You got too many generations here where you have built more of a mafia, more of a of material and money and greed, and even some that think that they didn't, they do. The ones that many of the ones that are better on it are sometimes the ones that have suffered more of that, and or already are a higher god or goddess that went into their bodies like us, that were just too cord to follow the flow. But and others is the ones that suffered the greed, or whatever other crimes, and that cord them into a better. But most people, even when they think that they are religious, that they're good, that they're earning their heaven because they're maybe donating money here or doing some good thing here, they're not who they think they are, because they are still not good as an overall, not as loving as an overall. So their view of themselves is skewed by the notion, the religion notion that became like, oh, this is a religious person, depending on the view who was looking. But others in their life could feel that it's different. It's not, you're not as loving as you think you are, or not as neutral in your view as you think you are to others. So even those that think that they are religious and they are good and they have a chance at heaven, they have a lot to learn. And that is why we're here. So coming in that way that they thought, that wouldn't have got you what you need. What you need to do work. You need to do biome work. You need to get us out of the jail that we are in, for us to help you all out, and you to have a chance at heaven forever. But so as we're talking here, we have different families that have different parts of your bodies, and they have different parts of other things, financial, government. You have different things, judicial. We have encountered those criminals in many of them here, as we miracled. We had the judicial over us because they wanted us to have a record on us. Somebody like us would never have a record, and they wanted us to have a record on us. They didn't get to do what they want, but it's because we put up a big fight for the truth, and so did our many supporters. But others have found themselves circled by the judicial criminal family, didn't get to escape it. And the crime goes beyond what, beyond what you just, that you think you did it or you didn't do it. They can convince the person that they did something, like something small, that something made them, and then they think they are guilty in some way. But so because you are enslaved in your brain, because they clog different areas, and they can keep it clogged until you die. So they can keep clogging it like they do for, your Alzheimer's or whatever, that people think that's it. You think the person is that way, but that's because they put that on them until they go, make them suffer. They make their loved ones suffer around them, because they have set them up on that. And those are families that have those crimes. All those families are, most of these big ones are big fighters that are not gonna they're not just gonna decide to go to heaven. They already know they're screwed. And we told them that the thing is that you're screwed, but you get more screwed as you keep doing. But it doesn't matter. They kept doing. So that is where you have the devils and the big devil that are in bodies that don't. That's why they are the devils, because they don't change their mind. They keep going all the way. You have to have others that fight and lift us up for them to have a chance. And as we have said in our thing, like if you watch the Game of Thrones, and you see in the episode we see the there where they have the god where he looks just like he's burning in a car, and he needed help. He needed somebody to help him, and then once he got helped, then you see him in a strong way later in the episodes. That's how that's for you to know what you need to do. We put many things in series, in shows, as people are writing. When you're writing, when you're creating, you're not creating from nothing. You don't create from zero. It's not all yours. So when you create, you earn it. You earn it from us. You earn reaching to us. So you earn it from the Goddess Supreme. And you earn it, and then we let you. And so in that, we are in it. So when they are writing in mini shows things that we wanted there to be, so that you have those concepts, the Goddess Supreme is in there. And that's in the Game of Thrones, but we're big. We planned the series Westworld, which they removed from circulation because once they saw that we were using it for connecting with us, the Goddess Supreme, and connecting with others, it was a big thing for us to have it. So that's why it was removed from HBO, and you can only buy it or rent it from somewhere else, because they knew how powerful communication that series was, and how that we used it. We think everybody should watch the Westworld series. In the main actress in the Westworld series, we were inside in many of the acting, and we were also inside her love there, also in the acting. So we traveled time to that many times, and planned that series so that you understand the robots are really kind of you in an enslaved way. So we're gonna go back here. I mean, there's a lot more to say on that, but we need to go to the sexual stuff. I guess what we planned and what we said we're gonna talk about. We're hearing some that are saying, well, they want more about Westworld. Maybe we'll go back to it. We're gonna remember here. Okay, they want Westworld. So in Westworld, we'll say a little bit about it and then move to our main subjects. Westworld, you have the robots, and in there in a park, and that's you in the park is like just you in the world where you don't see the satellite and the lasers over you that are manipulating you to do what they want, all to the point of 100% enslavement. And we'll come to that when we're talking about sexual crimes. That's gonna be in there. Hopefully we'll remember that. And then you have in there, you have owners of those robots, and you see investors, and you have the same thing in here. You have the same thing in the US, and you have the same thing worldwide. You have owners of different tags, and so the tags is your brain pictures, your brain whole scan of different areas, so that it can clog one specific area for you behaving in a certain way, or saying a certain thing, or doing a crime or whatever. So they have it all mapped. That's the tag, your body and your brain mapped, so they can do whatever it is that they need to do. And so you have the owners there, and there are big strong owners, and there are smaller owners, and there are owners that think that they are owners but they're really holding it for other owners until they kill them, because it's too much for them. So they get them to do the work, and they think they're going to be owning a long term. It's a good investment, but no, they kill them and take their what they built easy. But after, so there are the ones that go in and they get to stay and strong, and there are the ones that are depending who is over them, that is doing them. So there are some owners that are better than other owners even in that. And we have some strong owners in that are supporting us now, but we also have the other, it's a mix. We have strong owners that are doing are standing up and supporting us with information and with some protection sometimes, and with danger to them even when they're strong, because it is the mafia, and the other ones don't want to quit, and then there are the ones that are that are holding to everything and don't want to let it go. And the strong ones, because they want to earn for afterlife. They're hoping to earn heaven, but even if they don't earn heaven, they're smart enough to know, even if I don't earn it, then I'll have a better afterlife, shorter or less. And part of that, why the difference, because some get born into it and are different. So it's not some are they're born into the mafia, and then some go in the hateful way, and then some are different and they change from what the parents have done. So depending degrees, but they're in there, so they change in a way they think, but they're still in the mafia, and they can't do it's too strong for you to just go. You can't go out of it, other than here with the opportunity that we are here. and abroad in other countries, you have the same thing, because they have to have owners from the other countries. So again, there are people that invested in the tags and the ownership in there. And there also you have where some they can't get out of it. And when you are an owner, you get benefits versus when you are not. So you don't get but you can still be killed, and they know that. But the thing is, you can get killed even if you're not an owner, even earlier. So they choose the life of just continuing doing the best they can, but taking the orders that they can't change. And definitely there are some others that are not as loving. So it's just it's a mix, as in everything. When you think when people they vilify one area or whatever, in general you have a mix everywhere. In every country you have a mix of the more loving, the middle, and the ones that want superficial, but in also or hateful. And also in that you have whatever the owner of that person has decided for them. So sometimes they could have made a decision. You could have made a decision at some time in your life for something, and that decision they took it. So even if they're a fighter for better, they still have to listen to the US, and so they still have to have some that they make suffer more. They have to have that, or they change them and kill them. And so if you have done some act where you had a choice, where you weren't completely enslaved, and you had a choice and you did a certain act, and that they thought that act was bad, you get chosen to suffer more and be more clogged, and maybe more superficial, or more greed here down the line, because of something that you have done. And so you got chosen for that. And that's to the best that they could do and some of them got killed and changed it. They didn't. So they're, it's a complicated matter here, and that's why many of them are fighting to free us, but they can't do it. They can only facilitate for the governments and for people to do it. But here, I mean, we know our videos and most of our stuff gets muted and only gets seen by the mostly the government people, or some people that are tied to us in connections or otherwise, or hear about us. But even those, some of our articles get hidden. The ones that are more powerful, that show us in the religion, that are more convincing, the like even our story here with in Lil Sai, when we spent all night and we had the poisonous snake and the lion. That story gets hidden many times from people seeing it, along with other stories, other things that are in there. They get hidden, so even they think they are seeing all our stuff, they're not seeing all our stuff. So because they are in our network, because they are in between us and the social media, because even in the social media companies, they interfere. And that is the thing. We thought in the beginning that it was just us, that they are in our network, but they are in the network of whoever. Like when we have our connections, it's limited on the connections that we make, like on LinkedIn. And so they are in those people's head and network, so that they don't help us. And the government people that have been seeing more of it, we are disappointed, immense disappointment by the inhumanity that they thought that they could keep, that they didn't want to risk more. And we have a hard time with that, because we take the risk all the way for love, always. So we have a hard time relating to you not saving us all this time. And we know that many feel us, and we feel them, and we cry with them, and they feel like they can't do much because they're afraid, or they think they're waiting for more. This is not a regular time for you to wait for more. We are Jesus. We're here to save you. We are we came with here, we woke up with biome. We are the Goddess Supreme. We are your chance. We'll go back here to the sexual crimes on everyone other than them. So we have the family that has invented the hate of the sex crimes on invented or stole, because they steal stuff and then they hire people and they create more hate stuff. They are not, in general, they don't really invent. They steal and then they create, and then they hire people that do it, and then they kill many times the ones that do something big, so that it doesn't go out, or if they start changing their mind or whatever. So, but they are in control of that. So the family in control of that. We have met one of them on a personal level, because she decided that the family decided we are big enough that they were gonna come and do the hate job on us personally. She was an extreme hate, because she was talking as she was doing the stuff in our brain and with the tag. extreme hate. Extreme hate, it's beyond what you would think a woman could do to another woman. We have, after that, we have abstained from sex altogether. Um, so when we're gonna talk here orgasm, when what men and women think of orgasm, what is the truth in that? So when you we thought for a long time that it was women were more of sufferers of less orgasm or no orgasm, but it's and women are, we got targeted in a different way more, but so are men, they just don't know it. But in everything, if you watch in everything, in jobs, in how we get the health, in a lot of, almost in everything, the women are targeted with more hate, and that is the USA mafia, and the government. The women are a target, to be a less, an inferior being, and not being an inferior citizen than the man. And they're doing it in the US. They did it in a major way in Muslim countries, and in some more than others. So women are a target, and we assumed in our life that it was the Muslim countries, but it is the USA mafia government using the religions, changing things in the religions to do that. And they, you have their workers in there that having to do, you have some hate. We're not saying everybody is good and love, but the US is over that, over how the Muslim countries treat women, how they did change stuff in the religion to make it one way, or in the religious leaders that they have. We have the women, how they get treated in Asia. So it's not just the Muslim, it's in different areas, they create different problems and different things for women to suffer more than men. But men are not free of that. They are also, it's less, but they are also suffering a lot. They just don't know it because they have advantages over women. They think they're in a win, but they're not. So here, most the population in the U.S. and worldwide, other than some that are on top of the families, including circulars, their orgasm that they reach is not the natural orgasm. They have decided on one 1/16 of your natural orgasm is what you get. That is for men and women. So that's from teenage to the whatever they decide for you. And for women is worse because they cut them off earlier. But 1/16 of your orgasm, of your natural orgasm, is what you are getting. So it takes a big joy out of, and a big relax, and a big connection, and families. It affects marriages in a huge way, affects love in a huge way. It breaks sometimes people that are in love together, and that are going, then it breaks that, and And many times it's not even for long term. Even if one does an affair or whatever, it doesn't really work long term because they just do things. It's like they're writing your story, which they do. They write your story, like you see that in the show. Just interfere with your natural. And some, they choose some few, very few that they use in their studies because they're always studying the brain and how we react. So there is a psychology family, how we react to different things that they do, different crimes that they do on us. So they choose some that they give them more of the natural orgasm, and use them. Not really a lucky thing, because when they are not in those families, they use them in different ways. So many of the ones that get chosen sometimes are the rapists that you see, but they make them have that orgasm along with enslavements in the brain, where they match that they reach the full orgasm, or at least bigger than that, where they reach a certain level, only if they rape. And so with that and with that, the crime keeps repeating. And then they study them. So, and it depends what they do. So it's not all one level, because when they're studying, they try different things, and they're always doing that, studying how you behave. That's why the enslavement has been so successful for them, keeping everybody there, doing because they can predict with what they have seen already with different lives. So and that is, so even I guess we'll go here to the medical. This family is in the medical, as other families, the eyes or other ones are in the medical schools. The medical schools that decide for the other medical schools, they are in them. There is not all of them, but somebody is in them from that family, so that they lead the schools in a certain way, because there are some schools that decide and then others that follow those decisions. The other schools follow the same strategy. So in the medical schools, they learn. You have all these doctors and all these people, even in medical school, they learn things the way they want them to learn it. So even surgeons don't know what really your natural body is. Even that they perform surgeries and they get to see, because the lasers are in there not seen. So even, for example, when they see, so let's see, a woman's body after birth or within birth or wherever, and it's stretched, or somebody that is bigger, that they fattened, so you see the thing stretched, so they see the skin stretched, but they don't see the net that is stretching the skin. Or they see folds, as you see like folds on the back or on the stomach, but they don't see the net that is doing that, because they can't see that. And even as we said in either a video or writing, even when you have, in the beginning here, when we were awakened earlier, and we kept telling people that came into the left side of the circle to help us, and we even had the environment people that came, and then we thought that was it when we had the environment. We had the environment people come in. We thought that was it. They're going to see the lasers and see the proof, and we're out, we're free. But the problem is they came into the circle and signed their NDAs. And then we had some that came through the satellite, and we thought that was gonna work. And we don't know why that didn't work, but it didn't. So even the environment people and others that get the view of the lasers, and we told them as they came in, many of them were like, we told them, turn on, we don't see that, okay, turn on this layer. It's like in architecture and engineering, you have CAD and you have different layers and different colors of the layers, and no, 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 turn this layer. And then later, no, there's a transparent layer, you need to turn this layer. Okay, it's a different feed, turn this layer. So we, there are different things, so we led people to see. And so the people in the circle, many of them do get to see, and they have different views and they're not equal. So some get to see a better view than others, and some get to see more laser. Some can, they can turn off some layers and off and on. But the top that most people don't get to see, including owners of companies, the excellent feed is a better feed. It's a feed where as you are writing regular on paper, they can read the writing. That's how detailed it is. You are in your room or in your company and you're writing, or you're doing whatever, creating something. They're able to. It's that detailed of a camera on you, of a thing. Getting what that excellent feed. And then there are good feed, and there are levels of feeds that they give people. But that one is more hidden because they don't want that to be known as a feed that they have. And that the people that join in the satellite, I think we think that they don't have the laser layers. They only see us in Miracle talking to others, or they get our writing when we do it with our hands. That gets given to them by the satellite. So it's different. You have to find where we were here. Yeah, so we're talking about the layers. Well, these layers here for the stretching the skin for sexual stuff where you don't reach an orgasm in the natural, or you don't reach it, or you reach it in a weak way or in a short way. I mean, they're able to do many different ways of you suffering that. Those are not even in the layers that others, that even circulars see. So the circular that is working on you, on your sex at the time you're having sex, or before, or setting up, that they don't get to see that. It's not a layer in there for them. It is a pre-done, so they get the program there to do their stuff, and they only know their natural to them is the way they see that is already done. So, and then they're doing the work, but there are things that are coming as this hidden even to them, where they don't see that. It's not a layer option. Or we have to get back in our focus. So we'll go back to here to the women, as we say, both men and women get the 1/16th, and that has actually, there's a reason that they chose 1/16th. They thought 1/16th is 6 and 1, that is 7, and 7 is lucky for them. So and the 16 is a teenage, the teenage right there, when you're starting to sexually be aware and I guess, wanting. So they chose that number because of the teenage thing and because of the 7 lucky that they thought was lucky for them. So we get that for the both girls and boys, where they never most never know how they are in natural and in sexual activities. And then you get the women that get targeted more shorter. So even it's the same in that, once you, for example, there are different people get different things, but an example was you give birth, you get targeted, most get targeted for not as even less orgasm or less satisfaction, and you make a logic thing in it. Oh, it's because I got stretched, but that's not the way the body is. You stretch. We are designed where we stretch and we unstretch, and you have, even when you do Kegel exercises, or you do all these other things that we think are gonna solve the thing, and many it doesn't really solve it. Where it's it's like, that's it. You had kids, now it's different. Or you reach 50 or 60, that's it, and then you have and you assume it's just the body. Well, it is not. Your body is giving you the UnNatural the opportunity to enjoy sex all the way until to your old age, until you die. You should be able to enjoy sexual activities, and not just enjoy it, but really in a natural to be part of the beauties of your life, which is not which is cut from most women, even more, more than men. Most women suffer the taking away the sex joy from them earlier in life. And that brings up, remind us of taking that word from us. They clog us, so we menopause. So that brings up menopause here into the discussion. Menopause is the information here in medical schools and in the healthcare is so off. They're so off. Because even most of them, other than the ones that are in that more, they don't know. They're very, they learned the wrong things. They taught them the wrong things. And so you don't get the right help even when you go to get help. So menopause, I guess, first of all, menopause is not... for most people suffer menopause 10 or 15 years before their natural menopause. So they cut, because they are in there with the lasers, they change, they cut that from you before they make your body in a menopause state. It is superficial, but it's still there. It is, they do it there in a physical way on your body. And so it becomes like it is the truth, but it is not, because when they do things, even the hormones will show what they do, because they are tagged everywhere, because they can, there are that details on doing things, they can cut that, stop the eggs or stop your period before time, or create scenarios where you take off your uterus or ovaries or different things. But menopause is already, the timing of the menopause has been wrong on most women. Most women are finding themselves without their period earlier, 10 or 15 years earlier in their life than it is natural. The heat that you suffer in menopause, it's lasers. It's a laser heat on you. it's kind of funny because we feel it, because we feel the lasers on us. So we feel when they bring the laser on our neck, we feel the laser moving hot in there. We feel it on our back. We feel exactly what they are doing at different time, and they still kept it on us because normally you would have thought, and some that knew, some that people told them, and so they stopped on them. But for us, no, they did more and more. So we feel more, and they put more on us. But yeah, so those that heat for menopause is not natural. You wouldn't suffer the heat in menopause, along with other things. And even when you do the hormones and all the hormone therapy and all of that, you don't need to do all of that. Yeah, natural is the way. So just as we say in for the gay community, that we say we don't want you doing hormonal changes. We want you natural on hormones, and so that applies even to that, because they're doing stuff that's just gonna making them suffer, and like they got a relief in that, but it is not needed without the lasers. You need to remove the other stuff from you, and it would be not that bad, and you're still sexually feeling the desire and all of that afterward, and sexually active afterward, enjoying your life. And that means more heaven when you are more satisfied, when you have those things in your life that are relaxing, that are building love, or building trust, and keeping the marriages strong. So all those things that you need. We are not less than men in that they just put that on us in the women's bodies. I have to take some time here to refocus. So the the reason that is this family that did the sex crimes, and that is in control of the sex crimes on the world and on the US. They decided that should include everyone other than very few, so it never gets known. And that is why even most the circlers, the regular, even the ones doing it don't know the extent of what is in there, and have the same they don't have so they think they are lucky because they don't get somebody doing that on them what they're doing on others. So they're like, oh, they get lucky that they have a better sex than us or the rest, but they're still not having their natural sex intensity or duration as what we gave you naturally. Only those top families get to have that. So it's it stays, so that in sex and in other things, so it stays very hidden, because of how the lasers are so hidden. Even in, they don't even see them in layers. And like when we said here, our writing or video, when we talked about how they have the crimes there, where they farm, they're farming lasers everywhere, but where you think a disaster, you have oil spills, or you have the clogged us here, not wanting us to go there. Hopefully we get it back. It is a fight, many times over us, with different mafia. So some clear us a bit, and some flag us, and many times as we're laying down, we have jokes about it. There's laser fights over us. Some do, and some have some are removing, and so because of the laser wars. So we're talking, yeah, there when we're talking about the oil spills, and how even when you have those insurances, which are in the lower, less mafia, but they are in the mafia, many of them, the big ones at least, they don't know that. So even they lose in some of that, because those are not layers that, even when they are looking, even the ones, because sometimes they have some circular in there, they may know or not, but there's circulars that work with them, and they look, even they go investigate and look, they wouldn't see those layers that they used for those big crimes, where it's many deaths. You get a big population, or a huge loss, financial loss, or huge amount of death in people. They don't get to see that part, and so those that we're talking about, the most, even circulars didn't know that, regular circulars. It's the same thing here in the medical. So there are some things in our bodies, including the sex part, where even the circulars working, they don't see. So they are doing the crime on a small thing, but but they're not seeing the other stuff. So it's not just a layer, there is no layer for them to turn on. This is similar to that. So the knowledge there in the mafia is not all the same. Not because you're in the mafia that you are having access to everything, or know everything, or are able to have access to everything. And it depends on what it is, where you are in that. Where's that? Other or just not there. So I guess when we talk about that, we want to bring the culture also into that. Um, and we know here the American culture, even in the shows and so how you see, um, how you see. We're gonna write that so we don't forget, because even we got reminded of something, they could take it away from us and not let us hear it again. What were we talking? Oh, the culture about sex here in the US and in shows, in comedy shows, and in other shows. You have the kids that if their parents are being romantic or that they like, that is wrong. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want you to engage in sex. You know, near your kids. We don't want that. But we also don't want we don't want in the culture, in any culture, in any country where we're seeing it as a negative. You want your parents to be enjoying their life. You want that's the natural. The natural is they will be together and sex is part of the enjoyment together all the way. And we don't look down at that. We don't say that that is bad, or we don't say that is like they do it like it's in a gross way. How could that be gross when it's natural? Natural is not gross. So yes, we do. We have to do stuff with with privacy and all of that, but we also have to not make it negative things that should be positive. And so there's something that we need to change in definitely in the U.S. culture, in the movies industry, the comedies, all the stuff that they have manipulated, that the mafia manipulated the cultures to go in that way. We'll go here. One we were gonna forget, which is very important not to forget, is sodomy. So the mafia targeted humanity with sodomy in a big way, and brought the sodomy into a heterosexual coupling as well. We are against sodomy, and sodomy is a crime, and sodomy is not it's more of a hell thing on you. So we don't want, it is forbidden to practice sodomy. But it is also it has been on many because of the enslavement into their brain, because of the culture and the belief and what they convince people that is better or whatever. They the Hollywood, the non-Hollywood did that, put that in their movies, which is wrong. But also the mature movies, or the ones that are in circulation or not, that are in sales legally, and then the ones that are that are in channels, I guess, that you could just watch your channel and get it, and then the ones that you get from stores, and then there are others illegal ones. They all have brought sodomy in. They made it a norm to have it in MA, or in even series. Even when they don't show it, they hint to it, and they want it to become that it's like it's one of the things. No, sodomy is not one of the things that you do. It is forbidden. You don't do it, and your body is not designed to practice sodomy. It isn't. So when you practice sodomy, you're ripping the body in, because that's not what it is designed for. That part is not for sex. You have your other parts are for sex. But it's not just a culture. It's not just a culture way where you are manipulated into that to practice sodomy or to think that that's how you get, you know, whatever. You get the sodomizer or sodomies, how that it's better. It's not just that. It's not just manipulating the way you think. It is also in a physical way, making the ones that do it think that see things different. So they put here for some that practice sodomy, they make them on both sides. They make them get the orgasm or little higher orgasm just when they sodomize, and then when or better than the regular. So they have the other way where it's like could be, you know, for women, could be that it's stretched and so you don't get the excitement or not enough, and then they'll make once that and you're getting the pain and getting all the ripping and all of that, and then they engage the thing where you get the orgasm better at that time, but you also have the pain and all of that with it, but that's not natural. So sodomy doesn't give you the better orgasm. The lasers are doing the crime on that, and so that's for women and for men, and for men, for gay men, they would have way better orgasm unnatural as well, without sodomy. Just because they're cutting their thing to 1/16 just like everybody else. They don't need to sodomize to enjoy their sexual life. And where the beings would bring the being, and you're gonna have some that are gonna be boy and some girl and some mixed, and that's natural. Okay, that's part of your natural. You just don't do the sodomy, and you should enjoy your sexual life in that natural, homosexual or heterosexual. But they have crime. They have done big crimes here to promote sodomy in a physical way, engaging at that time to make it that it's enjoyable for some, and even with them, many of the ones that did it, or at least the ones that got sodomized, even with that, the many don't choose it because of the pain and the suffering after. But so it's a cultural thing that they crime that they did on the U.S. and on the world, because when the U.S. does the movies, the world is seeing those movies, all through all the different ratings or different availability. Somewhere we want to go. We lost it here for a bit. Arrowhead. Our we lost it where we're going, so hopefully we'll remember it. But since we remember our life before this one, it was in two boys homosexual relationship, and we had before we got executed for it, for really our fortunes, but they claimed it was that. But we didn't need sodomy to be happy together, and that was with Cyan. Somebody's fighting us going to the next idea there. We need to be quiet because they're interfering even in the voice there. I guess since we're talking about that, we lost there. Hopefully, we'll either somebody helps us, reminds us where we were gonna go, or it could be another. We'll go ahead and move to for the ones that haven't read all our stuff to just sex. I guess since we're talking about that, sex education from the Goddess Supreme. We here as biome, as the religion, we are not banning you from having sex. With until that you have to be married. You don't have to be married. You don't have to be married to have sex. But you definitely, if you have sex with someone for greed or get paid for something in any way, then that is a forbidden thing. So as long as it's a love thing, a love activity, and without trying to get something or trying to give something, that is more of a greed in any way, greed in promotions, then it's okay. But we also don't want you to have sex early. We don't like how we see the American culture pushing kids that are to ask kids to, oh, you have a girlfriend, or making it more of a relationship of a going into the sexual, into the love thing too early. We don't want that. We want them to stay kids longer, to enjoy their kid time and their again, got clogged for the word we wanted to use. Their innocence, we want the innocence to stay in there longer. We want them to bond without thinking of the love in a romantic way. It's they you steal your kid time too early from you, and we don't want that. You have enough time to do that part. And if you build stronger in the kid time and in teenage thing, stronger you, then that's better for when you are ready for romantic relationships. And romantic relationships don't have to have sex. So we don't want you to go and sleep with someone on the first day or second day or third day. That's not what we want. We want you to have kind of like a more build the relations, see if things work, not rush into sex. So we're not punishing you for having sex without marriage, but we don't want you to have sex that easy. And that includes older people. So not because you were married and divorced, or you're 70 or 50 or 60, that you are gonna go and because you are the age, because you had all that you have sex with somebody on the first day or second day or whatever. We don't want you to do that. We want you to go out and have fun with that person, build and see, maybe you'll have sex with them, maybe not. But we want you to work on the relationship, on the love, on that more. And then the sex is the secondary. They put something on here. They have lasers in our eyes where it's looking down more, and then made us see it also. So that's common here. They do the crime and they make us see the crime so that we suffer seeing it. So yeah, so we see it as very natural that you could have not have sex until you're 20 something, 24 or 28. So whenever you are ready. but you could be going out on dates for and have a boyfriend, whatever. You could have a boyfriend for many years and not get to the sex part. Depends when you are ready. You don't get pressured, either of you, the boys or the girls, to do that. You follow your passions and you follow what you love, and you can have the boyfriend later, not too early. We don't want you to have boyfriends or girlfriends too early. And then so you kind of in those times you're learning about yourself, even in a romantic way, and you're getting stronger. So when you have a relationship, when the relationship get into the sex part or more involved, you are stronger to know what you want, what you don't want. And we're not talking sodomy, we're just talking about your comfort. uh, you know but even if things don't work out in the relationship, you're stronger for it. Just you have had all these years where you got stronger, in even how you are going to behave in the romantic, because you built yourself strong for the boys and for the girls. That's what we want. So you were opening it up for you, but also saying, we don't want you to do it too early. And that includes the older people. Not because you're older that you get the freedom to just, be wilder. But we do want you to have more joy in sex in your life, and we're working on that. We don't remember here the other thing we were going to on relating to sodomy, so they took that. Oh, we forgot one of the sponsors is Swatch. Um, our watch, Swatch, a big supporter for us, a huge supporter, along with Switzerland. It's a very, very strong supporter for us. Along with Netherlands, a huge supporter for us, huge connection with them. With some countries, we made more of a connection with their military circles. And with many of their people. Switzerland and Netherlands are one of those where we connected in a big way. Japan is another one. They thought they could free us a while ago. We have they they came into us. Nintendo is one of the sponsors. Yamaha, they're one of the sponsors. They are the Nintendo came in first years ago. They're hurting our back. Such that they angered someone. Mm, 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 mm. And Nintendo brought Yamaha. And so we have business deal with both companies, big business deals with both companies. And then Pokemon came, which we were already um, playing Pokemon for many years here in Texas already. So we have business deal with them as well. But the military circle in Japan came in strong, trying to help and trying to make deals, and that didn't work as well. Years, a while, maybe a year or two ago. They both Japan and China like our innocence ways, and we like the cutie stuff like them. We fit in that culture just easily. Mm. Mm. The reason we haven't gone to Japan, we would have gone. It's one of the countries, but we made a promise to our daughter not to go without her to Japan. So that's on the waiting list until we can take her. Because she loves the all the she loves Japan and loves a lot of things in there, along with the Asian animation and anime and all of that. The arts. You have to see here if we remember. Focus them. They got angry that we have said so much here, trying to cut us off. But somebody really got angry with Nintendo. With us bringing Nintendo in. Because we played Nintendo for many years. We played it as a family. The Nintendo Wii, the Wii U, and all of that. What we do, so you can have your little avatars, and you can build the family avatars, and we did all of that for many years with our kids, and like with the exercises and all, activities. And so when the circling, when we were awakened, when a big awakening got the Supreme, the circle used Nintendo to claim. At the time we didn't know. So when they heard us paying lasers, and they were claiming that it was the Nintendo, they were getting that from the Nintendo. They claimed it on the Nintendo is doing that. They did that a lot in the beginning when we didn't know. They claimed it on the companies that we had. And that gave right to those companies to come in. That's how it started earlier on. Because they claimed it on the companies, or they claimed it on the shows we were watching, as they put paint lasers on us, and we didn't, because we were getting caught off from the goddess supreme, from the one. They would claim it on that. And so Nintendo came in, got called in, came in after a while to defend them, to show that. And then they became big supporters, and other companies came. Yeah, they brought in the Yamaha, and other companies came from there. That's how many of the the love circle got built in the beginning. How the military families were able to bring the companies in the beginning. And it is different how people came in now, like even how Cyan came in earlier on. Was very hard for him to come in and to be able to talk to us, versus later others were able to talk to us more. And then here now later after that, they cut off our support, where we don't hear and feel our loved ones that much. We get messages from people that they hire, their circulars that they hire, that are either supporting us, love for us, or others that get hired to just deliver a message. So it's a big take on us here later, where they cut all our soothing and our loving from having more of a closer relationship to us. I'm trying to think here if we had a lot of things that we wanted to say. We don't always remember everything, but many times when we write what we want to say, we end up not doing it. So we stopped writing what we're going to say because they plan on it. So it's easier for us to just do our best, as try to remember as we're doing our enlightenment. I have something important or not, then we'll end it. No, we can't. We're getting more blocks on it, so we're gonna go ahead and end our enlightenment on this video. Bye.